Next, we're going to look at the base settings, and the base has to do with the bottom of your Potterware object. So right now it's hollow, and that's because base layers are set to 0. When I do make a base, I generally don't go over 2 base layers, and depending on the layer height, that will also determine how thick the base layer will be too. So if I zoom in on this and we change the layer height, let's just put it up to something really high, like 3, you'll see that the bottom layers are also very thick, just like all of the other layers here. So the layer height is going to match what is on your base, as well as affect how thick your walls are and how spread out your coils are. Going back to base settings, let's just close this up and only focus here on base settings. The other thing that I wanted to show is the amount of coils for the base. So you can see that the spiral is much looser at the base than it is for the rest of your object here. You can change that by lowering the base layer spacing, and I don't think it would be necessary on an object this size. This is where a little practice really helps you understand how this setting affects your final result. I will show some physical examples of different bases that I've printed, but in general, if you want to take this number down, your spiral gets a lot tighter. And the scale base has to do with how much of the base is being filled of your object. It defaults to 0.95, which works for 99% of the things that I print. But there have been times where I've on purpose made this larger, and you can really exaggerate it. Let's say that I put in a big number there, like 2. That is going to make my base almost become like a saucer on this object. And if I were to make the spacing a lot tighter, I might actually be able to print this and turn it upside down and make it like a little platter, which would actually be a not half bad way to make a platter. I guess you can't. If I zoom out, let's see if I can go all the way upside down here. Yes, I think it's stopping me. So really wants you to look at this right side up, not upside down. But you get the idea that that could be, this print could be turned on its top, and the base could be the platter for it. There really aren't a lot of examples of where I change the base scale. I almost always leave it at that, default of 0.95 or close there to it. I am going to show some examples when we get into horizontal effects where the base may not match the shape of your vessel and where you might have to increase it. But for now, that pretty much covers what you will find in base settings.